We're here in the Customer Magic neighborhood with kind of a pretty impressive booth here with NASA and James, the director of NASA FDL.
Yeah, I am. I'm the NASA FDL is an applied AI research lab for NASA. It's a public-private partnership, which is great. So it means we can ask corporate partners who are experts in AI to help us with our problems.
So, with that in mind,
yeah.
How does Google Cloud and NASA FDL work together?
Well, we had a big problem, and the problem was, are we alone, which is kind of the big one, and we knew that you like big problems, so we thought, well, hey, we'll call up Google and see if they can help us.
Sure.
What's interesting about this problem is we have scientists who are fantastic at understanding the problem, and enormous data, like data you can't imagine how big it is, huge. And so really we needed a corporate expert like Google to help us. And what we prototyped with Google Cloud, with FDL, is the sort of relationships and sort of partnerships which NASA's going to need if we're going to be putting the people on the moon in 5 years. So it's really, if you like, we're kind of a toe in the water about how the future should be, just in terms of the way we're solving problems, the way we're partnering. That's what we've been prototyping with you guys, and that's really what Google's amazing at. And I have to say thank you for the help you guys have given, because we did it. We've done some really extraordinary work here, and I think Massey's going to take us through some of the fragments of what was done, and this is what you can come and see at this booth. We're very proud of the work, and just like to say thanks again.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's great to hear. It's super exciting to see this kind of really turn to what can we actually do with this technology? How do we help people? And so we're going to walk through and see what people here at Next can kind of get their hands on and experiment with, and then also see how does that help us answer, are we alone?
Yeah, the team have done a great job of taking something really complex and making it really simple, and you can have a go and play with light curves and finding exoplanets. So there's some really cool stuff to get your hands on here as well.
Awesome, let's take a look.
Yeah, awesome.
So we just talked to James about how the partnership between NASA FDL and Google Cloud helped enable scientists to really start doing this analysis. What can people here at Next actually play with to see what that looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. So the challenge was grandiose, right? Finding life on other planets.
Sure.
So how do you break it down in steps? So step one, you have to find other planets that are outside the solar system.
Right.
So we actually worked on that challenge to start with. And what you can see here is a little bit of a representation of how that works. So the way you have one of these light curves, and the task here you can do is can you actually try to kind of classify by eye, is this a planet or not? So as you can see, actually, it's a quite hard task. You have to kind of understand when things are planet or not, and there are actually a lot of subtleties here. This takes actually a lot of human labor and a lot of astrophysics minds actually spent on this for years. So what we had as an idea is that can we actually have machine learning help us with this? And so we use actually the power of deep learning and AI in Google Cloud to kind of train a model that does this. So the researchers did this actually with our technology. And actually they were able to get a model that is not only more accurate than humans, it can actually kind of process entire data sets in minutes, where before it actually took years.
So people can kind of see the details of why it was so important to have machine learning help out the human knowledge that was required to make this happen.
Absolutely.
So for those exoplanets, can we take a look at those in the mobile apps over there?
Yeah, so here we have a very simple app that you can use to kind of scan the sky, and there are a lot of planets in the sky. And once you point at one of those planets, you can actually kind of study it, and you would get the composition of the atmosphere of that planet. So this actually is more kind of a gamified version of this that represents why is this so important.
So this is a cool way to see and kind of get a little bit of a taste into exactly what goes into making those decisions and understanding all the technology that's required to say, look, we're now making these predictions. Let's see if we can find somewhere and actually answer, is there life out there?
Absolutely. And again, I mean, the beauty of this is that a lot of this work has been done by astrophysicists and kind of astronomy researchers that didn't have a lot of IT knowledge or AI knowledge. They were just empowered by both the power of computation in Google Cloud and by our AI tools to kind of answer these really, really hard questions.
Right, it lets them focus on what's important to them, and the technology just helps enable it.
Absolutely.
That's awesome, thanks so much.
Thank you.